say that. I went into the house of Ruth, and they said, I can't believe it. Then I went into another shelter because the house of Ruth, they only had me in there for 3 months. They couldn't, they didn't have services like they do now. Now they got a transitional housing where you can stay up there for 2 years, a year. Like they really help you with transitional housing. But back then in 1990, they didn't have that. So I had to go to another shelter. I went to Antioch shelter, and I was applying for food stamps. I had my stuff stolen in a shelter, and I'm pregnant, and I remember using a payphone, calling collect. I used a payphone to call my parents and say, could I come? And I was pregnant, and it was snow on the ground. It was snowing. And I just said, yeah, I'll do whatever it takes. So I did, and then my mother pushed me down. She pushed me down the steps. She ain't tell the worker that. I'm pregnant with Joshua. She pushed me down the steps because she saw I was getting big. I was 6 months, and I was going to the Kingdom Hall. I was cooperating. I was going to all my prenatal visits. I was doing everything. Back to all the lines with all the ducks was all lined up in a row. You know, I even pressed charges against my son's father, Joshua's father, because that's what she wanted. You know, Lord knows I ain't want to go through all that, and I'm pregnant. I'm high risk. I'm high risk pregnancy, and Joshua's father. That's another thing. Joshua's father was proposing me, but was going to marry me. She broke that up. Not only is she the reason why my life went downhill the way it did after I came back home from Job Corps, but she the reason why our family broke up between me, Marvin, and my son, because Joshua's father was ready to marry me. The second time when I got pregnant, yeah, he was alcoholic and all that, yeah, and everything like that. He was abusive and stuff like that. But he was really trying to get himself together. When he got locked up, he was trying to get himself together. He was writing me letters. He writing me letters to my parents' house, and my mother was reading them. She was going in my mail. Man, I'm like an adult, so I'm 20. I'm about 20 years old. She was going in my mail saying, well, whatever come here, whatever mail you get, come here. I gotta right to read it. You know, I got it. So she was reading up prison. She was reading the prison letters, reading saying that people in jail get help from other inmates. They get help from other inmates. You know, gullible women, you know, to trick them and stuff like that, you know. So she ain't put that in here. My mama didn't put all that in there, you know. So, and then when she did that, then she threatened to leave my father. She threatened to leave and take my sister Indira down to Virginia and leave my father. And then she got the elders involved. She got the Joe Witness elders involved, saying that, oh, if I didn't leave that she 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 was going to take my father. I mean, she was going to leave my father. So I said, okay, that's okay. I'll look for housing. Because after that, I had a Joshua. I said, just wait till after I had the baby, and I'll get some housing. Get a housing. So after I had Joshua, I applied for a housing, but I had to get I had to get a notarized letter from my parents saying that I no longer I'm staying with them. Yup. I had to get I had to get an affidavit, a letter from my parents. That was crazy. The stuff that I went through with them, I'm still going through it. Still. For her to say, oh, she want to see that she hope I get my kids back. My mother didn't want me to have no. My mother didn't want me to have no children because it was against the Jehovah Witness religion to have kids because Armageddon was coming. Because back in that day, back in the 80s and stuff, that's why they had me and my sister so far apart, 12 years apart. Because it was frowned upon back in the 80s to have kids because they kept saying, oh, the new system coming, Armageddon coming. And this not the time to be having kids. Let alone for me to have children by people that wasn't Jehovah Witness. Plus, she had skeletons in her closet. For as she would take me to the library while she was looking up information on her real father, and I'm looking over her shoulder trying to see what she looking up, and I pulled the info. Later on, as I got older, I looked it up. So something like that. My father didn't want nothing. My father didn't want to marry her. Didn't want nothing to do. Didn't want nothing to do with her. Because my father knew about her background. My father knew about her father killing everybody in the whole family. And to be treated like that, she ain't want me to know. I've seen the newspaper article in the Afro American, but she never wanted me to know all the details about what happened. Because my mother always wanted to seem like she was some kind of Disney princess, or saying like everything was squeaky clean. And you want to talk about, she want to talk about something, talking about why did nobody like me. I didn't have my peers. I didn't get along with my peers, and I didn't have no friends, and did nobody like me, and blase. What about her ass? What about the story behind how her eye got busted up? Somebody threw a rock in the eye because they got tired of her bullshit. She the same way she was as a little girl. Same way she was. Somebody got tired tired of her, tired of her lying on people, switching stories up, and they they threw a pebble, in her eye, and she had one, her eye got all messed up. So she can only see out of one eye all her life. You want to talk about that? You want to talk about something? Talk about that. And then with her taking over every time throughout elementary school, she did every activity. You know, she was there at every activity, taking over everything. Jehovah Witness get the gatherings, put drama parties, you know, going around. Soon as I wanted to drive a car, I'm having a summer job or something, and I want to get my driver's. I want to get my driver's license. She go around telling everybody that I couldn't get no I couldn't get no driver's license because I would blame everybody. Well, I blame everybody if I learn how to drive. And my father's friend told her, Joan, you don't tell Crystal, you don't go around telling people something like that, telling Crystal something like that. That's gonna mess her self-esteem up. You don't do that. And then my cousins, it was times my great aunts and my cousins, my cousin Ruth would ask, could I stay with them? Could I stay with them? My mother would tell them no. You know, somebody like my cousins out of state, far away from my mother, you know, and everything. Oh no. They said if you teach her how to catch the bus, you catch the Greyhound, or teach Crystal how to catch the train, we'll pick her up. And my mother said no. Tell that story. You know I'm not lying. Tell that. Tell that story. Then my mother, even now, she go around talking about, you know, talk about my kids and stuff. And then my great aunt said, those are Crystal's children. They are her kids. You know, for my mother to mind her business and stop saying things that's not true. Destructive things that's not true. And then kind of find out my mother almost got disfellowship. My mother wound up cheating on my father. After all that bullshit, she wound up cheating on my father with her high school classmate. After all that. And the only reason why she didn't get this fellowship is because of her old age. Because the congregation that she was in, she wasn't in Central Congregation no more, where my father is at. My father's an elder, but she relocated to another congregation, and the congregation was more lenient. There was more understanding, more lenient. Not all congregations in the Jehovah's Witness cult, not all of them treat the same way. Some of the elders got bias against women. Some of them got favoritism. Some of them got some kind of vendetta against each other. Each a competition between the elders. Yup. But anyway, I thought I shared that story. It's a lot to it. I thought I shared that with y'all. And even now, at 50 years old, I'm 50, and I'm still suffering from the effects of that, from all the effects of